Hey, hi everyone. Very good evening. Today we are going to see how to install Visual Studio 2026 and .NET Core. Okay. So first we need to install Visual Studio 2026. That is the latest version. .NET have a release and .NET 10. And nowadays .NET 10 is long-term support. So we can see how we are going to install. First, go on a browser and type Visual Studio 26. Okay, so first click on the whatever you can select, this one or this one, that is fine. You can we go here, click uh, Visual Studio 2020. So we need to install a community Visual Studio community version, not for professional, because professional have a paid version. That is a free download. So we can click on the free download when he start downloading. Once downloading is completed, once just click and double click here, Visual Studio setup. When you have a latest version, I have already completed with this installer, so I am just cancel this one because I have done completed all already. So you need to follow these things. Once Visual Studio community version you have installed, so then you have to install a .NET 10 SDK. Click on the download .NET SDK for 64-bit. Okay, here is see. When click on download again, go and check here. Once both installation is completed, then we'll go here. Okay, so this is the new ID. You can see Microsoft Visual Studio. So then you can see the Visual Studio 2026. That is a new ID. Click on the new project. Right click on the new project. You can select any template. I have already selected ASP.NET Core Dev API. Click on next. You can put your project name ABC new VS 2026. I have mentioned. When click on next, we can see the framework. .NET 10 is a long-term support. .NET 9 a standard term support, and .NET 8 is a long-term support. Okay, so you can see here is once .NET SDK 10 is installed or not. So here you can verify with your project roles. I have already created applications. So click on cancel and see. Okay, so I have already created the application. So you can see this is the new solution explorer for the .NET 10 EasyShop. I have created the name of the project is EasyShop. That is a project structure dependencies property. Already aware about that property. Launch setting, here is the launch setting. You need to put your connection string here. Okay, you can put your connect launch setting, sorry, not connection string. That is launch setting, which port you are going to run. This is the application you are there. On this port your application will run here, first port and second port. Okay, that is for the https. This is for the this port will run on the https, and this port will run on only http. Okay, where we can specify this one. If click on http, the this port will run. If click on https, so this port will be run. So this is the .NET 10 and Visual Studio 2026. Okay, controller is as it is same. So no need to worry about the controller. App setting, app.setting is also remains same. You need to provide your connection string and key you need to store here, and that is a HTTP. That is, I think, this is a new one. I think so. That is the new things. And program.cs files, you already aware about program.cs file. You have all services and register services we are going to register here, and that is a middleware we can pipeline. Okay, we have a register app.run these things. And weather forecast, that is our that is a class for weather forecast. Okay, So you can see run the first we are going to run the say, this application weather forecast is running or not with our Visual Studio 2026. Okay, when we are going to click here, so how you can run your Visual Studio 2026. Okay, so you can see our Visual Studio 2026 will run first time. So how we can check uh, earlier we have our UI is a Swagger UI. We can test our API is working or not with a Swagger. But right now in a .NET 10, .NET 10 Swagger is not here. So if you want to, so just manual you need to update or add library. If not, so we need to check manually. How we are going to check manually? Just click Easy Shop, and we have already previously we have already clicked if this section will not run, so just click on the send request, and you can see your API will will run. So here you can initially you can check initially you can check here with a less amount of code or less amount of data, but nowadays is a .NET 10 have a testing for the your API is a new scalar API a scalar. Okay, scalar. How we are going to add a scalar? So we can see that just stop our Visual Studio code and go with a right click and add a manage NuGet package. Just add a scalar, scalar.sp.net code. This is for the UI testing for the get beautiful interactivity API documentation for the Open API and Swagger document. I have already installed this Swagger UI, Swagger not Swagger, that is Scalar UI. I have already installed, and after you have after install, here is a icon will be change uninstall. So go on program.cs file and add in configure HTTP add map scalar API reference you need to add here. So once you have add here, so that is a library will auto. Okay, once this will done, and now we are going to run this application on Scalar UI. So you can see here, wait for some time, the code will run. So which port our .NET applications are running? If you don't know, just go and click here, just copy here. If your application is not run on any port, just go and click here, and you can see localhost 7073. I have run this. Okay, I will show with a new. Okay, not done. So just right click and click scalar. You can see your EasyShop, EasyShop new version 1 that is run. So you need to test our weather forecast. This is the weather forecast. How you are going to test? Just click on test run. Click on the send button. Your API will run. So this is all about Visual Studio 2026 and .NET 10.